Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Drega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, May 26, 2023. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please get the first 5 cards in our 5-card spread? First 2 cards we are starting our day off with today. Oh my. We have here Judgment in combination with our 10 of Swords in its reversal. So what are we seeing here? This is a moment of cycles coming to a point of closure. This is a moment of rebirth, and that point of rebirth is entirely coming and evident with the choices that you are making today. We see here that today is a day of taking direct action, moving in very active ways, making points of determination for yourself, simply to reactivate you from some situations or circumstances that were a point of closure that you are now kind of rising back out of. So this is that point of determination that you're making as you come to this point of reawakening and move forward from this point. The next card we are having today in our first 5-card spread is Ace of Wands in its reversal. We also love seeing this card today because, as I said, activation, action today. Lots of work getting done today. A lot of trying to bring a lot of your manifestations into the tangible space right now, putting a lot of activity and activation in those spaces. There's a lot of vivacious energy coming through right now because not only do we see you making decisions today, we see you acting upon them in big ways. A lot of passion, a lot of communication, a lot of activity. Next card, 3rd card for today, center of our spread for today is World in its reversal. So there is something that we're seeing here about trying to get into a point of balance. There is some feeling of chaotic energy. There is some feeling about trying to get into balance right now. So what we're really seeing is happening right now is a lot of action, of actionable movement, specifically to correct any situations or specific areas right now that you feel are somewhat chaotic, that you don't necessarily have the balance in. But what we like about this right now is it's not just the fact that you're in this place that feels a bit disorienting, but you're really taking a lot of immediate action to try to correct that. You're immediately recognizing the point of unbalance and trying to put some directed action into correcting it for yourself. And that is requiring you right now to have this point of taking this moment, rising back up, getting a point of activation, and making some new choices for yourself. New choices, direct action to correct this sense of disorientation or imbalance that you're currently experiencing. The next card we have coming through right now in our 5-card spread is, we have here the 2 of Swords. So this is also a moment that there is a pause point, that this is showing that there is a recognition. And I need to stress this for some of you. Some of you need to hear this right now. I am seeing here a situation or circumstance where you are making a lot of decisions today. You are making a lot of choices. But the question you really need to ask yourself is, are the actions that you're taking right now actually a moment of you following your intuition? Because what we're almost seeing is happening right now is there is some choice. There is some action that you actually want to take, that you're feeling intuitively guided to potentially take in this moment. But you're holding on that action. You are instead putting in a lot of work in other areas while holding on some direct action in others because there is some uncertainty here. You're still trying to find the right direction to go as it relates to some other situations in life, some deeper problems that are afoot. And that is potentially why we're seeing the World in its reversal, because this is feeling like a bit of a limbo space that you've got yourself stuck in, because you're taking action today, but you're not taking all of the actions. You're maybe doing some things right now that you feel are easier to do, as opposed to the action that you may be feeling not yet ready for, but you're feeling a lot of intuition that you need to take action on, but you're just holding on it. And that's where we're getting this point of disorientation on for real. That's what's really going on here, my friends. The final card for today's spread, before we start getting clarification, is what is that point What is that point that you're holding your action on right now? Well, it has to do with some tower moments, my friends. It has to do with some points that have created spaces and places of real crisis around you in the recent past. Things and situations that they have reached a point of finalitude. The crisis point is over, but there's something around these situations or circumstances that you feel is not fully finished or addressed. And you're recognizing right now that some of the reason that they're still entering your own space right now, some of the reason that they're still having an effect, if you will, because this can feel very triggering, is because you are still feeling energetically called to take some action, to allow this to be, to allow that rebirth, to allow that closure, to allow that ending to kind of reach that point. But you're not necessarily ready to take those steps in this moment. And that is where we're seeing some of this disorientation that we're experiencing, even while in other areas right now, you're really taking some strides. You're almost like putting your energy in a whole different area. Anything except the things you need to know to do that would help you kind of shift away from this crisis point. You're not necessarily taking all the action that you could take right now. You're waiting for that higher intuitive guidance in terms of what to do next and how to address those things that are still kind of holding some attachment to you, that they did create a point of crisis around you. And at the same time, putting a lot of points of activation as you get kind of back up on your feet, as you make a lot of choices for yourself right now, to try to find a point of orientation as you facilitate between these 2 points. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our Judgment card in combination with our 10 of Swords in its reversal. So, and in combination with the Ace of Wands in its reversal. So again, a lot of decisions, a lot of determinations being made right now, specifically around some areas that you feel you are kind of ready to come back to life on. You're bringing something back up. Something is rising back up within you. Phoenix coming out of the ashes, if you will, energy today, as you put a lot of determined action on the things that you're trying, that are going to help you have this rebirth, if you will, and allowing this to be a space of making a lot of very important choices today as it relates to that rebirthing process. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now in Victory. You're moving right now with a lot of determination. You're taking a lot of action because on one side of your experience right now, you are seeing that victory is at hand. You are experiencing some immediate victories. If they're not immediately happening, you are sensing that they are just around the corner on these. And it is this point of victory that is giving you this like extra wave of energy. It's giving you this like feeling of rebirth that's happening right now. And it's really allowing you to make some big choices in this moment and to take a lot of direct action, manifesting these things into reality because you're sensing and you're recognizing the victory that is being achieved in these moments. Continuing though to get clarity between the blockage now, between this other part of the Ace of Wands in its reversal in combination with the World in its reversal. So this being a bit more of that fraught energy that we're seeing, because while we see you activating in big ways in some areas that you feel you're about to have some imminent, immediate victories on, there is some anxiety about some areas that are still leading you to feel disoriented. They are feeling a bit chaotic. They are leaving you feeling confused. And there is some moment right now of really asking yourself, what action can be taken to help correct for this point of disorientation that you are experiencing? May I please have one card to clarify? There it is. Clarification coming right now in balance. Balance is key. Balance, balance, balance. This is calling for you to do this work for yourself right now, to find that balance, right? How do we get the world back out when we see it in its reversal? Because this is coming through as a feeling of disorientation. I literally just said it's a feeling of disorientation. It is making you feel ungrounded. It is making you feel unmoored. How do you correct for this? How do you take action on it? And it's funny because you're actually trying to take right now immediate, like direct physical action to try to correct for this imbalance that you're feeling. But really, This is calling for you to a certain extent to go inwards. This is also calling you right now to take any action that is going to help restore some balance in this moment, to get you back into alignment. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our world in its reversal in combination with the Two of Swords. So identifying even at this moment that we are identifying that you are taking a lot of direct action right now in the spaces and places that you're already seeing like an immediate imminent victory on the horizon. There are other situations right now and circumstances that you feel you still need to take action on, and you are holding on those actions. You are holding on your judgment, even while you're making judgments in other areas right now, specifically because you are feeling and you're trying to observe. You're trying to allow yourself to kind of stay in this point of really trying to get all of the information that you need, really trying to make sure that you are intuitively aligned before taking these next steps for yourself. But feeling some of the disorientation holding in these actions is creating for you at this moment. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now makes perfect sense. Fool in its reversal. Fool in its reversal. Why are you holding? Why are you holding on this action? This was our card of the day, but it was in its upright. There is an understanding right now. You recognize that this is calling for you to take some unprecedented approaches. It's calling for you to do something that you have not done before. It's calling you to kind of have some blind faith as you throw yourself into some new action, some new activity that feels like it is a bit of a risk. But what we're doing right now is we see that you're holding off. You're pulling back on the reins, if you will, on taking that leap of faith because you're trying to do it having learned the lessons from the past. You're trying to do it in the most focused, cautious way possible. So it's a leap of faith, but it's a leap of faith that you're trying to take with a lot of knowledge and lessons behind the step. And you're giving yourself this moment to hold, to really, again, making sure that if you're taking this leap of faith, you're doing it from a space of intention and direction. That is why we see that you're holding right now, even if it's making you feel somewhat disoriented, because you're really having this moment where, again, you want to take a leap, but you're also working very hard to look as much as you can before taking the leap, even though you recognize that a part of that leap is going to feel like a leap of faith. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Two of Swords in combination with the Tower in its reversal. This is that moment. And where are you looking right now? Where are you directing your ideas and your focus and your points of observation on as you try to cautiously proceed forward from this point? You're looking towards the past. You're looking towards the past. You are forcing yourself to continually re-observe some point of crisis that you recently hit that caused a disruption in your experience, that you recognize was moved away from you because it was not in alignment to you. But you're really kind of plumbing the depths of that right now, trying to get as much information and insight from those experiences as possible to help guide the step that you are now feeling intuitively called to take going forward. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with Devil in its reversal. Devil in its reversal makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Cards falling on the floor for confirmation. What do we got here? What do we got? This is it. This is the point of recognition. This is that point of recognition. Because what are we seeing here? Why are you being so cautious right now? Because you are taking a lot of care in these leaps of faith that you're taking in this moment. You are doing everything you can to look before you leap into this leap of faith because you're putting a lot of attention right now. You are forcing yourself to hold on some actions right now. As you recognize, you look at the situations that you are making judgment on in this moment in your experience, assessing some spaces and places that created some real crisis, some real trauma, some real moments of potential cataclysm in your past experience. recognizing that doing that right now is helping you move forward from a place of healing. Making sure that the actions that you're taking right now, as we said, are being intuitively guided to your highest purpose, using that intentionality to guide your steps, recognizing you have to take a risk right now, but mitigating that risk by making sure that the risk that you're taking isn't falling into bad habits, unhealthy thought patterns, unhealed karmic connections, bad modalities of thought. Making sure that the places that you're proceeding right now are healthy and healing and not getting you into circumstances and situations that made you feel chained, caught up, bound in them, losing power, losing your own autonomy in the first place, that created the tower moments. It's this point of assessment. You are sitting here looking at these tower situations that you experienced, forcing yourself in a way to re-experience a lot of these lessons for yourself, all in the attempt of deeply understanding what went wrong, what was the point, what was the observation of recognition that those were not aligned to your highest path. You're using that right now. You're using those lessons to hold on your action so that you make sure that you are proceeding in the best way possible, in the highest way possible, and not falling back into those same patterns that created tower moments for you in the first place. Tap to claim, tap to claim. Continuing to get clarification on these extremely I gotta point out, guys, this is all major arcana right now with the cherry on top of an ace card. So if it's not an arcana right now, it's an ace card. So this is a lot of internal work happening right now for the collective, a lot of deep inner work happening. Clarification between our Ace of Swords in combination with the Justice card, experiencing some moments right now that are recognizing immediate victories in your own experience right now. Where are these experiences coming? Where is this point of victory coming from? It's coming from balance, baby. It is coming from balance. It is coming from feeling that point of balance, recognizing that the balance is the victory. Working right now to achieve this balance and maintain this balance is the goal right now. The goal isn't a destination. The goal is an orientation towards balance in all things, specifically starting with the internal right now, and potentially trying to externalize that, but looking for it first internally. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss. We love this. Tap to claim, because what are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? This is that moment. This is that victory. This is that rebirth that we're seeing. Because you are accepting now. You are seeing the fact that your victory comes from spaces and places that create a sense of balance for you, internally and externally. And maintaining that sense of balance not only helps you in the present experience, but it helps you orient your path on your long-term future plans, on your long-term future goals. This is you like spinning around, right? Thank you so much for the gifts. This is you spinning around, but recognizing that you will stay balanced so long as you keep your center of focus on what it is that you are truly after, even in the midst of the chaos. Okay, this is you coming into a point of orientation and allowing that long-term future goal, that long-term future plan, that long-term future path to be your point of orientation. Not just striving completely for this, but holding a point of balance in the present so that you can manifest this in the future. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Justice card in combination with the Fool in its reversal. So again, a beautiful moment of balance coming through right now, working to maintain this balance. And yes, this is that rebirth we see. This is that judgment energy that we see. This is you moving forward right now, moving forward on your path, but carefully carrying the lessons that you have learned thus far, doing everything you can to take this leap of faith, but take it very intentionally. holding and trying to maintain balance even as you take this leap of faith. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. Oh my goodness gracious. King of Wands in its reversal. And this is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to masculine or feminine energy. Bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. For masculine energy right now, we are seeing that there is a bit of that blockage point coming back up today. There is something here that is feeling a little bit harder to maintain. For the masculine energy right now, something about this chaos, something about this unmooring is going to feel a little bit more difficult because there is something here that makes you feel a point of anxiety as it relates to your own sense of control in the situations. We're seeing that here. This is hard. This leap of faith is much harder for masculine to take right now because it is requiring some ability to plan. It is requiring some ability to communicate. And this is a moment that you yourself, this is feeling like a bit of a blockage point because there's something about your own ability in this to maintain balance as you take this leap of faith that does kind of, I'm going to say, it does kind of unnerve the masculine energy more at this moment because it's hard because we're seeing here that the masculine recognizes that there's something about this leap of faith that they can't see. There's something that you have to relinquish control on. There's something here that isn't going to allow you to be in full control and planning of the situation. And that is coming through as a point of difficulty for you in this moment that makes it create a space of uncertainty and potential anxiety today as you struggle with this. Even while moving forward right now with some determination and goals on victory. This is a bit of anxiety point rising up for the masculine right now. While for feminine energy right now, what we're really seeing is this is a moment that you yourself are also trying to maintain this state of balance. You yourself are taking this leap of faith carefully, very, very carefully. Why is feminine taking this leap of faith very carefully here? Because feminine is somewhat untrusting right now of the masculine energy around them. That there's something about the feminine energy. We said here, feminine is moving forward right now, trying to look before they leap, trying to use a lot of caution and experience right now, even as they take a leap of faith, feeling very balanced in that leap of faith, but being very cautious right now because there's either a present manifestation of masculine right now or some past manifestation of masculine that's still holding space around them, that they recognize their intentions were not ideal, that they were moving from a space of personal motivation instead of unified path growth. And it's this moment of orienting and recognizing, having some memories on this energy, holding some anxiety about the energy, even all of the masculine energy coming towards feminine right now, really having this be a leap of faith in feeling, really asking, feminine really asking, can I trust this energy? Can I trust the masculine energy coming towards me? Or is it going to come through similar to some of that old energy that I've experienced that has caused these disruption points, that have caused these blockages, that was moving more towards their own driven purposes, their own passions, their own goals, instead of wanting to kind of move in a space of unification towards that long-term ideal path or outcome. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Between our Fool in its reversal in combination with the Devil card in its reversal, it's going to feel, again, a little bit different for masculine and feminine energy right now, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine energy right now, this is exactly, we're seeing here the clarification on this. As we said, feminine energy is moving forward right now in a state of supreme caution, feeling very cautious around making sure they're not falling into similar situations, unhealed, unhealthy coping mechanisms, bad modalities of thought. And most importantly, we're seeing here with this King of Wands in its reversal, anxiety around the connection of the energy that's coming towards them, wanting to make sure that that energy is healed masculine energy as opposed to unhealed masculine energy that has effectively potentially harmed them or caused some kind of difficulty in the past. While for masculine energy right now, this is more of a personal journey about you yourself working to take this new path, this new direction for yourself, all in an attempt to heal from unhealthy coping mechanisms, from bad modalities of thought, and from unhealthy or unhealed karmic connections. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with Ace of Pentacles. The solution is the offer. The leap of faith is the offer. And this is going to feel different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy right now. Bearing in mind that's not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. What is feminine using right now to help guide their path, to help guide their path forward, even as they're feeling this moment of caution in having to have some blind faith in this moment, even as they're on this path of being cautious, trying to make sure they're not falling into past traps and to fall into unhealthy coping mechanisms, bad modalities and thought. But most importantly for the feminine, a lot of this being anxiety around the externalized energy coming towards them right now, making sure, trying to make sure that that energy is healed karmic energy as opposed to unhealed karmic connections that may have created tower moments for them in the past. They're using as their compass. Feminine is using the tangible offers that are being placed before them right now to orient where they're going to go. Feminine is willing to take this leap of faith right now, so long as they see that offer being put before them, so long as that offer is tangible and real. That offer from the energy that they're moving towards right now is what is giving feminine the confidence to believe that these are healed and connections, because that is what the unhealed karmic energy would not do. They would not come forward in this way. They would not articulate. They would not create something of substance. That is what is feminine is using as that orientation point. While for masculine right now, this is a moment that you yourself are going through this process of healing for yourself in this moment. This is more of a personal journey for you. You are trying to take steps of care and caution right now. Again, healing bad modalities of thought, unhealthy coping mechanisms, moving away from unhealed or unhealthy karmic energies yourself right now. That is allowing you, the leap of faith that you yourself are doing is coming forward with these offers, determining where you want to put your energy in this moment. Where are you going to bring these offers and opportunities and what you are offering? This is you also moving towards what is on your highest timeline, but this is more of an actionable item for you at this moment as you give forward in this point that is allowing you to take this leap of faith. Continuing to get clarity on these cards right now, but some uncertainty on it. Continuing to get clarity right now on this 10 of Cups energy in combination with the King of Wands. It will feel a bit different for feminine and masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For masculine energy right now, this is a moment of some disorientation. Because while we do see that you're trying to keep your focus aligned to your long-term goals, your long-term path, your long-term purpose, there is some uncertainty as to what that looks like and how to plan for it. There is a bit of fogginess that we're seeing here as it relates to masculine's own ability to plan and to conduct this appropriately right now. This is a bit of a personal blockage point for masculine right now, because while they have their sight on what they would ideally like for the future, we're seeing that when it comes to articulating it, when it comes to putting it into words, when it comes to like actually expressing and manifesting it right now, masculine is feeling a bit of a block. They're feeling that anxiety. We see that anxiety here. They're seeing this moment. I think it's because there is a moment of trying to stay in a healed space, in not wanting to damage anything, trying to move forward in the most healthy way possible. While for feminine energy right now, we are seeing that this is a moment that you yourself are trying to focus right now on the situations and circumstances that will lead you to your long-term, most ideal outcome, your happiest possible timeline, your ideal long-term path. With a lot of orientation right now on the masculine energy coming towards you right now, and really looking at it and really asking, is this energy that can align, that will be in alignment with that long-term path and long-term goal that I'm trying to set for myself right now? Or is this an energy that is more driven towards their own personal needs, their own personal desires? Trying to use this for feminine right now, this could be a moment of utilizing that manifestation of the long-term path and goal to help get some clarification, to see if this energy is also aligned to them in this moment, but feeling some anxiety that either there hasn't been a communication around it or worried about whether it is, utilizing this as a way to determine that. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Four of Cups in its reversal. This is beautiful because what this is really showing us is a recognition right now. A recognition, different choices lead to different results. Different choices lead to different results. For the feminine energy right now, there is a moment right now, something about leading from this like future-based timeline, leading from this future-based perspective. There is a bit of a blocker here. There is a bit of communication blocker. For some of the feminine energy right now, this could be feeling one of two ways. This is either feeling like there is a present manifestation of masculine who you would like to talk about this long-term future planning goal with right now. But you're feeling some anxiety around that communication. You're feeling that anxiety that it may lead to like recognizing a disruption point or recognizing a point of imbalance, but also recognizing that that is a different approach that might be a positive one for you in this moment, that is doing something in a different way that may result in a different long-term outcome. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself, and will help you identify whether this energy is aligned or not. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself are feeling somewhat blocked, somewhat frustrated, because you yourself recognize that you also are trying to focus on this long-term path, this long-term plan, this ideal future scenario. But you yourself are feeling a little blocked in expressing and communicating or being able to plan for this right now, because it is also requiring you to take a different approach. It's requiring you to have to like take an approach that you haven't taken before. And that's also a bit of that leap of faith energy that we're seeing right now. You're contemplating, feminine and masculine energy are both contemplating how they're going to address this with each other. They're contemplating how to kind of put forward these ideas or thoughts that they have. For masculine, this is coming from a point of like a difficulty in articulating, like a real moment in trying to figure out the best way to lay this out. While for feminine, this is coming from a moment of wanting to offer this to the masculine, who you're also recognizing that you're not communicating this with, but again, recognizing some energy that for some of the feminine, this is also you recognizing some energy from the past that you recognize was not in alignment to this long-term path and this long-term goal. This is that point of recognition that we're really seeing here. For feminine, it is helping them realize that this will be the determining factor to help them understand if this energy is ready to align with them and move forward with them in a positive way. While for the masculine right now, this is more of a personal struggle to like carefully try to articulate what it is that you're trying to grow right now in a way that it will be accepted, and feeling some of that blockage. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our King of Wands in its reversal in combination with the Ace of Pentacles. So a moment right now, again, it's going to feel a bit different for masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For masculine energy right now, this is masculine energy feeling some anxiety or difficulty as it relates to what they want to offer. It's not the fact for masculine right now that there isn't this desire to come forward with some tangible offer in your own life right now. It's you kind of going through this struggle in terms of how to articulate it, the best way to propose it, the best way to kind of communicate what you want to offer, because it creates this point of anxiety with you. It creates this anxiety as it relates to your own control, because you realize there is something here that makes you feel like you don't have control in how it will be accepted. While for feminine energy right now, this is a moment that you yourself are having as it relates to the masculine energy that's around you right now. And you're putting a lot of assessment into that masculine energy. And you are really looking and you are asking yourself, both, is this masculine energy actually offering me something that is showing that it has a degree of substance, of consistency, that there is something tangible that is being offered here? Or is this an energy that's just moving from their own directed passion, from their own directed purpose, fulfilling their own needs and their own desires? This is that balancing point, that point of anxiety that feminine is feeling. And almost potentially putting something forward to the masculine energy right now to help try to identify and determine that. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. There she is. We just got this yesterday in the daily card of the day. This is it. This is that dividing line. This is that point of determination, because this is the point, and this is really interesting, and it's going to feel a bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine energy right now, this is a moment that you've suddenly recognized that this is how you can determine whether a connection is a healed or an unhealed karmic energy. For the feminine energy, there's a recognition, and this is going to go both past looking and forward focusing. Feminine energy, we're seeing here with the Tower and its reversal on the table and all of these energy under cards here. Feminine is doing a lot of deep review on some experiences of the past, using those experiences from the past to inform their choices and their direction going forward. Feminine has recognized that something about the past energy that was causing so much harm to them, that showed them that the masculine energy in the past was not coming forward in a way that was healing or foundational, that was coming forward in a space that was serving their own purposes, serving their own desires, was the fact that the masculine never came forward with these offers. They never came forward and offered something tangible, that offered something that spoke of clarity, of consistency. Feminine is using this as the opportunity right now, waiting for this offer, waiting to see this tangible expression of what is being offered right now to help identify whether the masculine energy that's coming towards them right now is one that is allowing for an ability to move together going forward, or if it's only serving its own immediate purposes, if it's only serving its only immediate desires and giving some indication that it is unhealed karmic energy. This is that dividing time that is helping feminine decide, waiting for that offer, seeing what is being offered, and potentially even putting an offer towards the masculine to see how it is received, to help determine whether this is a healed or unhealed karmic connection at this point. While for the masculine energy right now, this is a moment of deep personal choice that you yourself are experiencing, because we have been seeing here with the masculine energy, this has been moving forward over the last few days as a moment of deep personal investiture, really putting this care and attention into doing this inner work for yourself. And there is this point of blockage that you yourself are potentially experiencing right now as it relates to your own ability to come forward right now in a tangible way. And the observation that when you are not able to come forward in a tangible way, that it creates unhealed karmic connections around you. that the energy that's around you, that stays around you, that you're not able to come forward with these offers towards, that actually puts you in this space where the energy around you becomes unhealed, which then kind of blocks your own ability to move forward. So this is masculine also trying to really orient right now on what it is that they're truly wanting to move towards, and assessing whether the energy around them, because we saw that the masculine was doing a lot of work right now in really observing the energy around them and asking themselves if these are healed or unhealed karmic connections. This is masculine really looking right now and asking, do I want to come forward with an offer to these energies right now? Or are these energies giving me some indication that they are unhealed, that they're not allowing me this degree or ability to be able to plan, to be able to communicate, to be able to move forward with them? And it's that observation that is helping orient the masculine energy on whether and where they're going to be bringing these offers. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, between Four of Cups in its reversal and Six of Cups in its reversal, everything right now, a deep, deep focus on karmic connections, on working to either heal karmic connections right now or working to remove unhealthy karmic connections. All with the idea of taking a different approach. In fact, in terms of finding some point of success right now to help identify what can be healed and what can be removed by what you offer and how it is received. May I please have one card to clarify? Final card for today's spread. And we're back to square one. We're back to square one. The completion of a transformation cycle. That this is that moment of a transformation cycle reaching a point of completion, of recognizing to a certain extent that all of the lessons that kind of came potentially from these tower moments that you experienced. This is like taking all of that work and recognizing, because we're seeing here, there's a moment now, masculine and feminine, using all of those difficult experiences right now, really like going back into them and doing some like personal investigative research on their own past to try to come up with the best way to move forward in a space of healing, and utilizing this right now as the completion of a that's going to allow for this difficult transformation process that you have been experiencing to come to a point of completion. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is Sun in its reversal. Sun in its reversal. There's a lot of anxiety here. There's a lot of anxiety on this. There's a lot of anxiety about, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear rising to the surface here. Just straight up anxiety, because there's so much, there's something about the work being done right now. It's like twofold, because you're having to do a lot of deep dive into some past experiences that were not very pleasant to hold, but that also taught you a lot. While also trying to like alchemize that energy right now to use in the experiences and the decisions that you're currently trying to make for yourself. For masculine, in how you're going to come forward. For feminine, in what you are going to come forward or accept right now. And both of these energies right now, it's creating this point of like the it's not joy, it's just coming through as like anxiety, because there's so much fear about kind of doing it in the wrong way or having some of the mistakes of the past repeat themselves. For masculine, there's a lot of fear of backsliding here, personal backsliding. There's something about this that is working you very energetically out of some things that you recognize were not in your best interest. Changes in your own life, changes in your own perception that you've been going through. For feminine right now, this is a lot of work that you've been doing to try to separate yourself from things that have hurt you from the past. For both energies right now, it's like, I feel like the stakes couldn't be higher to a certain degree. And that's where we're seeing some of this anxiety bleeding through, which is causing some of this feeling of chaos. So hold, remember, if you're feeling this today, balance. Balance is key, and focus on that long-term future path, that long-term ideal outcome. And that will keep you grounded even at that moment of anxiety. That was our daily collective read for the day. I want to thank you so much for being here and experiencing it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video with the option of a recording sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. Also, please remember, if you book a reading on my website, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and then you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure that you do both if you would like to have a reading with me. Most importantly, please remember, please remember that I will never, ever reach out to you for a personal reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never tell you that I have a very, very important message from your great granduncle 3 times removed. The only way you can have a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So do that. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me today and sharing this reading, and we will do this again tomorrow.